Woo, what an episode, y'all. What an episode. I already knew this week got crazy, but it's interesting because watching my initial thoughts on Mickey's moves just from Monday till today, I was looking at Mickey like you're an idiot completely. Even though I still feel like the move is stupid, but then again, watching it today and seeing how everything made sense as to why she did what she did, I can understand why she did what she did. But I'm going to get to it. I'm going to talk about it. This episode was entertaining. I know a lot of people are like, this season is not really that great because we haven't really gotten any big moves right now. But we got a big move right now considering the three that we have on the block. Somebody that's on the block is a threat, in my opinion, in some way, some fashion. So somebody that is a threat is going home this week. But we'll get into it all. But if you're new here, hit subscribe. We are on the road to 15K. Thumbs up the video. Y'all know how big that is. It helps push the videos out. I want to get more and more Big Brother people over here so we can have more and more conversations as the season progresses. We are about probably, 25, 30% into the season. So, yeah, bring more people over. Let's go. But I'm going to go talk about what we got to talk about. Let's go. All right, so we get back where we left off, which is Mickey taking the HOH reign and dethroning Rylie. So she pretty much states like, I didn't intend to hurt you. I pray that he doesn't take this as a personal attack. I'm just fighting for my life at this point, and I felt like I had to do it because I was fighting for my life in this game. She was right to feel that way in the moment. But Zach then says that he knew that she had the power. Like he had an inkling that she had the power, and Riley's such a wild card. He knew that he had to lead him to believe that Ashley was the one that had the power to go ahead and get Mickey in power so that he basically can feel safe, because he feels more safe with Mickey in power than he did with Rylie. So Rylie is pissed the fuck off, talking about it's unfair. Welcome to Big Brother. As Julie would state, welcome to Big Brother. Like, expect the unexpected. Like, do you not know what the phrase, the key phrase, the theme of what Big Brother is? Expect the unexpected. There's nothing unfair about this game, because you know there's going to be something that's going to be thrown at you, and it could fuck up what you got going on. You got to roll with the punches. But we're going to get into Rylie. He pissed me all the way off. But Mickey, she comes up trying to talk to him because he's upstairs getting his shit together, and he's sitting there cussing at her and stuff, talking about, I don't trust you. Who are you talking to? You are what are you doing? You are a man talking to women. And it's crazy because I've never seen him talk to men like this yet on the show. Like, you sitting here cussing at women and getting all aggressive with them, but it's crazy. But they ended up going into the gym, and he was like, you messed up because we could have worked together. And you could tell she really likes Rylie. And I'm like, I don't get why. I truly don't. But she then says, like, I did it because I heard that you was coming from me, Morgan and Ashley. Like, you literally stated our names, which he did. So that's your own fault. Like, you did that. But he's sitting there saying that you're assuming. Don't gaslight her, because that's what you did. You got mad at her for lying to you, yet you're sitting here lying to her. Like, granted, you're playing the game. Big Brother is a game full of lies, so neither one of y'all are wrong for lying. But if you're going to sit here and chastise her about lying, you're literally doing the same thing. You should be truthful then. If you don't want her lying to you, then you need to be truthful with her. But he says, like, you backstabbed me and you blindsided me. Shut up. You're playing Big Brother. But she says that she didn't do that. He's sitting there cussing at her again. Like I said, who the fuck are you talking to? But she then tells him not to cuss her out, essentially. And he's sitting there doing it, screaming at her, telling her, like, you're coming after the realest motherfucker in the house. You got a bunch of fake people in here. You're not the realest one in the house. Like, Ava's the realest one in the house, but that girl, she is literally, she is my favorite. What I tell you, I'm gonna tell you now, my favorites, I got a top 4 right now. My top 4, and I'm not gonna put them in any order because I really like all 4 of them, because all 4 of them deliver they give me what I want to see in a Big Brother house guest. Ava's in that top 4. Rachel obviously is in that top 4. Ashley is in that top 4. I can't wait to see what they put together tomorrow for Ashley, because Ashley was clocking shit on the feeds the other day. Ashley, and then Will, obviously. Will is what I see myself being when I get his age. Like, the way he moves and the way he talks and the way he thinks, I feel like that's how I would act as an older man. But that's my top 4. But she then states that she felt like she had to do that because of what was being told to her. Everybody came to me telling me that you was throwing my name out, which he fucking was. But Vince then says, like, this is wild. Like, Mickey's in power. I feel like I've essentially done a good enough job infiltrating myself in between all of these connections. Even though I don't really have the best connection with Mickey, he feels like he is not even one of those options that she would even choose. Even though he knows that there's potential that she could choose him, he doesn't feel like he's at the top of that list. He feels like he could skate through this particular one, considering the fact that there's three nominees, and he feels like he could be not one of those. We'll get to it. But Katherine and Rylie don't care. They're upstairs and they're sitting here having a pity party, talking about it's such a dumb move to take his HOH. How is it a dumb move? How? They're not in Rylie and Mickey are not in an alliance together. Even though it seems like Mickey has like some type of connection with him and he's seemingly trying to make it seem like he does too, they're not in an alliance. So you can be friends with somebody, but if you're not working with that person and it's not a mutual agreement that you have my back, I have your back, you can go home too. I can put your ass up too. So what do you mean it's a dumb move? And Katherine, shut up, because you're not even doing shit. Like, you sitting around, you're literally a floater. Like, you're not playing the game. Like, shut up. But Rylie is having a pity party, talking about how much Katherine's really grown on him, and they trying to show me it's this edit. Don't give a fuck. But Rachel and Ashley cracking me up because while they sitting over there sulking, they're up there bringing Mickey's shit up there to his HOH room, which is now her HOH room. But Mickey ends up telling Rachel and Jimmy about her having the power, and basically like, I'm sorry I didn't tell y'all, but I just didn't tell y'all because I didn't want y'all to compromise your game and feel like you have to compromise your game lying for the fact that I have this power. But Jimmy tells us that it's annoying, but like, it's a triple threat member that has the HOH, and I'm safe this week, you thought. But they start discussing nominations and who she's going to possibly throw up. And she says it's between Kelley, Keanu, and Katherine at this point. She's like, Riley's still upset. And she keeps saying, like, he keeps saying, put me up, because he's pissed off about the fact that I took his HOH. But I don't know if I should even do that. Like, it's like, granted, he's telling me to do it. I would put him up. Like, I mean, you already got blood on your hands. The damage is done. He's mad as fuck at you at this point. I would have put him up because he's definitely a target too. He's a threat because he actually won an HOH. It wasn't given to him. And granted, he doesn't have too many options in the house in terms of people that he actually, he doesn't really have a good social game, but he can win. And not only that, he's already mentioned your name. So if he's already throwing your name out there, there's potential that he would be able to get you at some point. And I'm going to get anybody out that's got my name in their mouth. But Mickey then says, like, it's between the three of them. One of the three, like, them three are going up. I just got to figure out which ones of those four or three she's going to put up. Ava and Rachel, they had a little bonding moment. Ava was spitting up water. That shit cracked me up. I love their bond. I love Rachel and Ava together. I literally love it. Love it. But Kelley ends up congratulating Mickey. So they're having a conversation, and Mickey ends up asking her, like, how are you feeling? And she's like, I mean, I'm nervous. And Mickey says, like, I don't know where you stand, essentially. So, like, that's essentially why you could possibly be one of my nominees. So Kelley then says, I've been on the block every single week. Whose fault is that, Kelley? You volunteered every time you were on the block. But she then states, like, I would appreciate this particular week being off because it's my birthday. What is her birthday? Y'all tell me. I don't know for sure what her birthday is because, as y'all know, I was out of town because it was my birthday. What if we share the same birthday and I can't stand her? Of course, she's a Leo. Like, she's a different type of Leo, though. It's funny to me. But she's like, she would appreciate not being on the block because she's exhausted. I bet you are. Like, I bet you are. But she then says that she feels like she can't really work with the people that she thought that she could. And this would give her an opportunity to kind of like start forming connections without the stress of being on the block. I mean, I get what she's trying to do, but Mickey then says, like, if you weren't on the block and you won the veto, would you keep the nominations the same? And she was like, yeah, I would respect your HOH. Keep that in mind. Mickey's weighing out her options now. She's like, okay, well, I'll sit and think about it. But Kelley swears up and down she would not change it. I wouldn't trust Kelley. Kelley's proven time and time again she ain't to be trusted because she don't know how to shut up. Like, she tells you one thing, or she'll have conversations with somebody that you would think you would keep private in the game if you really have an alliance and you really want to work with that person, and she'll go and spill the beans as she did plenty of times. But Mickey, she comes and gets everybody to see her HOH room. Rylie was sitting out there sulking still. But Mickey gets a letter from her mom. She gets emotional. She's immediately crying. Rylie ends up, because everybody was giving her hugs and comforting her, but Rylie ends up asking to give her a hug. He tells her he loves her. And he says, like, in his confessionals, it was the heat of the moment. Mickey didn't deserve to be treated the way that he treated her. I'm glad you can at least own up to that and state that you know you were wrong. But everybody leaves and it's just the two of them, and he's sitting there crying to her now, talking about how bad he feels and knows that she didn't do it intentionally. And it's like, I'm glad that he's able to reflect on that. That is a good sign that you're able to reflect, because like I said, I'm not a perfect human being. Me, I've worked on my anger, because as a kid, I did have a lot of anger issues. I would lash out on any and everybody. And in the heat of the moment, I would do and say things that I probably and did regret. But the thing is, when I did that stuff, I did know how to reflect. I wasn't the type to do it and then act like I was completely right in the situation. Anytime I was wrong, I always reflected and then went back and apologized and tried to fix it. So, I mean, it's good. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not a fan of him at all. Y'all already know that. Probably never will be, but I appreciate him at least reflecting and actually taking accountability and apologizing. Whether it's believable or not, that's up to whoever, not me. But she then states that she knows that he wasn't doing that, but this strictly was a game decision for her. And she's like, I'm willing to give him grace because he took accountability and wants to work with. She wants to work with him. It's clear as day she wants to work with him. But they start talking game, and she ends up telling him that she needs Keanu out this week. And she's like, if I feel like you are the best person to beat him in the veto, how would you feel about that? He takes a deep sigh, and he's like, I mean, I don't like being a pawn. And he was like, it would hurt because he said that it hurts that she wants to even put him up to take him out, essentially. But if you got me up there, I have no choice but to win. But we then move to Mickey and Keanu. They're having a conversation, and she ends up telling him, I can separate game and personal. I do believe you're a great person. But game-wise, I've heard that you've been offering my name up last week. As recent as last week, you were offering my name up to be somebody to target, which he did. The flashback did show that. And she's like, that made me upset. But Keanu then says, like, I know it's not good. He tells us this. I know it's not good for his game having Mickey in power. So he then tells her that he knows that he's going up. Like, I've been fighting for my life every single week. Like I said, when he literally stated, I'm coming for each and every last one of y'all. Dumb game move, because you gave everybody a reason to put you up every single time. Granted, it's obvious he should be doing that considering the fact that everybody does want him out. But like, when you say stuff like that, even if it's expected, you gave people a reason to put you up. So every time you're up, every time somebody else gets power, it's easy for them to throw you up. And you are a huge threat in the game. Like, you've proven it time and time again, winning these competitions. But Mickey then says, like, you're right. You probably are going to go up, and you have been a target. And she was like, he should have. And he says this. She says this in her confessionals, that he should have thought about that when he was throwing her name out. But he then says, like, he'll keep fighting it week in and week out like he has been, and that's just something he got to deal with. It is. But we get to the nominations, and Mickey nominates Keanu, Kelley, and Rylie. Kelley's over there crying because at this point, Mickey didn't state that she wasn't going to nominate her, but she didn't say that she was. So Kelley was caught off guard. Kelley's crying. Rylie smirks, obviously, because he was expecting it, because Mickey pretty much told him, I'm going to put you up because I feel like you can beat him. And her putting those three up, though, it makes sense. Like, you got three people up that are threats. Like, let's keep it real. Kelley and Keanu have been winning everything, damn near. So, like, you can X out one of those people, potentially. Rylie just won. And you already know he a hothead coming for any and everybody. And he could flip on you any day of the week. So I feel like those three nominations are not bad nominations. But Keanu is obviously her target. She lets that be known. Kelley is up there because she's associated with him. And Rylie is obviously not her target. She feels confident in him beating Keanu in the veto. But Kelley is crying hard now. Everybody's over there comforting her. She says, I'm so tired. I can't do it anymore. And it's like, okay, well, it's like, I want to feel bad for her, but I can't feel bad for her. When you constantly volunteer yourself to go up on the block, why would they not keep putting you up? Because at this point, you don't care. And even though she clearly said, I wanted to not be on it because it's my birthday, and we're playing the game. We're playing the game. It sounds evil, but like, come on. I don't care about it being your birthday. If I want to put you up and keep blood off of my hands, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But Keanu then says like it feels personal. It's pissing him off that Kelley and Rylie are up because they're associated with him. That's not why. Like, Rylie is up because she wants him to beat you. Kelley is up because she possibly can win. Like, Kelley has won all them blockbusters. So who's to say she can't win a veto? So that's essentially why. But let's keep it real. But Mickey then, she's now comforting Kelley. Kelley ends up saying like it's been a rough 24 hours. It's been a rough month. I almost had a break, but this game is beating me down. We then move to Kelley and Rachel. They're outside in the backyard, and Rachel's out there comforting her. Very smart for her social game. Good job, Rachel. But Rachel was like, I feel bad, but I 100% support Mickey's decision. Like, Keanu is a big target. Kelley is a competitor, and I just need Keanu out of this house. But Kelley is sitting there saying that she needs to win the veto to not be on the block on her birthday. And Rachel's obviously encouraging her, you can go win this veto. Go win this veto. So Mickey and Rylie, they're in the hammock. And she's telling him that Riley's the smartest of the three. And physically, she feels like... No, did she say Rylie was the smartest? I think she might have said Kelley was. Kelley was the smartest. And Rylie is the best physical threat to beat Keanu. So she then says, like, we just need to make sure that the other nominations stay the same as well. And Riley's like, so you don't want me to use it. She then says, if I'm on the block, you can't tell me not to use it. Shit, I'm going to use it. If I'm on the block, what? But she then says, like, I wouldn't use it because I wouldn't know who to put up. Mickey, if you was on the block, you would use it, but you just don't want him to use it because I get what she's doing. But Rylie then says, like, I would rather it be me on the block than Katherine, and I would keep the nominations the same. I said, you dummy. You dummy. You think she would do the same for you? That's why I can't stand showmans. It's like, y'all get on this thing and then start trying to give you, like, do y'all, it's $750,000 on the line. You just met this girl. Crazy. Because she would not do the same for him. I guarantee you it. But Jimmy and Keanu, they're in the HOH room. And, no, they're not. They're in the gym. And, was that Jimmy and Keanu? Yeah, Jimmy says, yeah, Jimmy's playing both sides. Were they in the HOH? They might have been in the HOH. But Jimmy was playing both sides, basically. And he was like, I'm playing both sides because I want Kelley and Keanu to feel like they can feel safe with me and make sure that they don't come for me whenever they win HOHs or whenever they win power. Which, like I said initially, it would make sense for Jimmy to then align with the two people that the entire house knows he has beef with, because it would throw everybody off because nobody would even think of y'all working together. So I understand why he's doing what he's doing. It makes sense. He's just stupid, but we'll get to it. But we see a flashback because Jimmy said, like, before the vote, he wanted to make sure that he kind of established something with those four, aka Vinny is in there as well. So we see a flashback of Jimmy, Kelley, and Keanu and Vince. They're all in the storage room building an alliance without calling it an alliance. And I said, this is going to backfire. I literally said it in this moment. It's going to backfire. I literally have the note right here. It's going to backfire. And it did. But we'll get to it. But because I said the reason why it's going to backfire, you're making an alliance with three people that cannot hold water. The minute one of their names come out as a potential, they going to throw your ass under the... And I was like, it literally is going to happen. And guess what? It did. But we'll get to it. But Mickey is reassuring Kelley that she's not her target. I just need you to kick ass in that veto. So Mickey then asks her, are the noms still going to stay the same if you win? Kelley says, I mean, I would like to take myself off the block and ask, can I do it? Ask, please. If I win the veto, you can't tell me not to take me off the block. So I understand where Kelley's coming from. Mickey, you crazy to think that you can put her on the block and think she going to want to sit there. Crazy. But Kelley then says, like, our deal was for you to not put me up. It was. And she says, if I play and win, I can keep your noms the same. So if I was off the block and got to play, which is funny because she picked Kelley's name. She picked Kelley's name in the picking of the players. So she literally could have had what happened. But she didn't win, though. But we'll get to it. But it's funny. But she was like, if I was off the block and I won the veto, yes, I would keep your nominations the same. But you put me on the block. So at this point, we have no deal at this point. That's basically what she was stating. But Mickey was like, I mean, I know it's odd for me to ask her to not remove herself, but I need her to see the bigger picture. Like, I need her to beat Keanu in the blockbuster if he doesn't win the veto. But Kelley then says, like, I have to protect myself, which obviously she does. And Mickey was like, yeah, I can understand that. But Kelley then says, like, Mickey broke our deal, so obviously I'm going to take myself off the block. I said, as you should. Because if you're going to be dumb again and sit there and potentially go home, then don't start crying. But we get the veto picking. Keanu, Kelley, Rylie, and Mickey are joined by Rachel and Morgan. Kelley ended up getting a choice to choose Rachel. And she asked everybody, like, who wants it? Rachel obviously wanted it. And it was between, I think it was Rachel and Jimmy at one point. No, I think she said she chose Rachel because she trusts Rachel more to win. I forget what she said. I don't scratch it. Y'all know what I'm saying. But Mickey, Rachel, and Morgan, they're pretty much strategizing. They know that they need to beat Keanu. So it's time for the veto. The veto, Ava is the host. She comes out there and trips and falls. That was funny. Ava, I love Ava hosting the veto. Like, she had good energy, too. She was exciting to listen to. But the veto is basically what they call sidewalks. It's like some lit up walkway, basically. And there are tiles there, green and red. Now, the thing is, the objective is you're trying to get all the way down to the end and finish by stepping on all the tiles. Now, the tiles, they're going to be black until you step on it. When you step on it, it's either going to be green or red. You want to step on the green ones. Whenever you step on the red ones, you got to go back, start all over again. So basically, you want to get down the walkway, stepping on all green tiles to get to the end. So that's basically what it is. The way that they stated it, I was writing it down. Y'all know how I get. When there's too much going on, I start to zone out. But watching it, when I can see it being done, it makes it easier for me to tell y'all. But basically, and they're playing it in like bracket style, like March Madness style. So like they'll play it in rounds for the first 2 rounds, and then we'll get to the finals. Now, in the first 3 rounds, it's 2v2, or it's 1 versus 1, 3 rounds. Whoever of the winners has the fastest time of those 3 winners, they get a bye to the finals. The other 2 will then compete against each other to get to the finals to compete against the person that has the bye. So y'all get it. So we begin. The first pairing is Keanu versus Mickey. Keanu won in 2 minutes and 49 seconds. It's all memory. Like, you got to be smart. You got to think logically. You can't rush it. So basically, my strategy, if I was playing this, I would move efficiently. I wouldn't move too fast to the point where I'm going to end up possibly falling off balance and stepping on the wrong one, which is going to fuck me up, because you want to do it quickly too, which a lot of people were trying to rush. And of course, what I just said happened. And it's like, you don't want to go too slow because you want to do it fast, but you don't want to move too fast where you're fucking up all the time. But Keanu pretty much beat her. Morgan versus Rachel. Morgan was one of the ones that was rushing. Rachel was smart as fuck. She was moving effectively. She wasn't moving slow, but she wasn't moving too fast. Rachel, but she did move quick. She finished and won in 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Kelley versus Rylie, it got really, really close at the end. Rylie ended up winning 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Rachel kicked all of their asses. In the first rounds. So Rachel got the bye to the finals. So Rylie versus Keanu. Keanu ends up beating him. So it's just poetic justice that it's Keanu versus Rachel, of course. So she's clearly nervous, and everybody else is, because everybody wants Keanu to lose. When Rachel and Keanu started going, you could tell Rachel started to feel the pressure. She was moving a little bit quicker than I feel like she should have. She was a lot more meticulous in the first round than she was this one. Keanu's ass was moving slow as shit. But it actually worked because Rachel moving so fast was throwing her off, which was giving him more time because she kept having to go back. You could tell Keanu was actually focusing on where he was walking, which tile was there, which tile needs to be here. He got to the end and he won. So, this is where Ava, I stamped her as my number one because she did exactly what I would have done. I'm telling you. So, it's silence. Soon as Keanu won, nobody's saying shit. Some people's mouths are open, especially Ashley's like, oh my God, he just fucking won. So, he notices that it's dead silence. And he ends up stating to Ava, because she ain't saying shit either, I believe you have a prompt. Ava, what I just did is what Ava did. You believe I have a what? I said, Ava. I said, you better say what I would have. That's exactly what I would have. You believe I have a what? She basically said, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" And she was like, "Don't play with me. Like, you don't talk to me like that." And I wrote down exactly what she said. What did she say? She said, what did she say? She said, "I ain't taking his shit no more. Like, I was ready to congratulate him, but he want to sit here and be a douchebag. To me, it was uncalled for. Don't talk to me like that." She said, "Because that Long Island is going to come out real quick." That New York came out. But she ends up walking over so sassy like and gives him his key. It was so funny. When I tell you I about fell out when she said, "You believe I have a what?" I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? But Rachel was like, "Keanu's so arrogant and smug." And Mickey's like, "I'm not surprised that he won. But if you stop acting like this, you might not be people's target in this house." But now she realized she got to figure out who she's going to replace him with. But post Veto, Ava and Keanu have a conversation. He goes in there and apologizes. He's crying, talking about how he felt like this week was just personal for him. And she tells him, like, "Come on, sit down, have a seat." Like, and it's funny because he's so big and she's so little. And she basically, like, looking like his therapist. He in there, like, crying and feeling so bad. And she's like, "Come on, sit your ass down. Like, I know you did what you did. I don't like you, but I know it wasn't like, come on. And she was like, "I mean, it's okay. It is what it is, sweetheart." She said, "I could have handled it myself better too. But I'm used to people thinking that they could just talk to me any type of way. And I'm just going to defend myself." I said, "As you should, Ava." Like, you could tell, I love Ava. I love her because she's different. She's funny. She real. Like, she real as shit. Like, I love Ava. But Keanu then says, like, it's really just me having to fight for myself every single time he's basically crashing out. And it's like, he said, it's turning me into a person that I don't want to be. And he said, "I mean, like, no." Ava says, "I mean, like, didn't you just say that you was coming for everybody?" I was like, exactly. You turned yourself into what you don't want to be. But she then tells us, like, "I accept his apology. He's safe right now. But he's walking out that door if I win the HOH, okay?" I said, exactly. But Rylie ends up telling Katherine that she's going to be okay because she's stressed out about the thought of her going up. She should have went up. I'd have put her ass up so fast. But Rylie is with Mickey in the HOH room. And he says, like, after his HOH getting taken, the last person he wants to have on the block is Katherine. So he then says, like, "I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that she's safe." Stupid. But then again, it's not stupid because, I mean, he needs her as a number. Like, that's a number that he knows he's going to have. But I wouldn't be sticking my neck out like this for her. But he then tells Mickey, like, if Katherine's up, it would kill me. You've known her, 4 weeks? Mickey then says, like, "I mean, I know that and I care about you, which is why I'm considering not putting her up." I said, Mickey. It's like Rylie is one person. Katherine is she's not gonna pay you any mind. Like, she's not gonna repay you. Katherine don't like you. Katherine don't like women. She claims she's a feminist, but she don't like y'all. She don't like y'all. She do not like y'all. She will put you up in a heartbeat. But she then tells us that it wouldn't be a smart game move for her to put Katherine up because basically keeping the showmans in the house does keep a bigger target on them than it does her. I do understand that, though. That does make sense. So I do understand her thought process there. But Rylie swears him down. Katherine's not going to do anything to hurt Mickey. And I'm like, you don't know the person that you with. But she tells him that she believes him. I said, "Mickey, please." But Mickey, Will, Ashley, and Rachel, they're upstairs in the HOH room. And they're talking about how sick of Keanu they are. So Rachel then says, sending Katherine home on your HOH would be a waste. Which, I mean, I get it would be a waste in terms of, like, a game player. She's not somebody that you really should be threatened of. Especially when you got people like Keanu in the house, Jimmy, Kelley, Vinny. They're bigger fish to fry, truthfully. So Rachel says, especially when Rylie would come hard after you if Katherine did go home. But Rachel says, we need to get she tells us this, we need to get somebody out that is a big threat to my game. Of course, Rachel's thinking about Rachel, as she should. But she then brings up Vinny. And she was like, it needs to stay in his room. And she has a good group in there. I feel like those 4 would keep it quiet. But she says that, and Will was like, I got this tingly feeling with her talking about Vinny. And I was like, exactly. And Rachel says it would be a resume slam dunk to literally take out Vinny. She's not lying. Like, that would be a big move because he's literally in the middle right now. And he can easily skate because there are people on each side that are a little bit more of a bigger threat. And when I say a bigger threat, visibly a bigger threat than him. Like, if you're thinking strategically and logically like Rachel is, you see that he is a big threat and you do need to get him out. Because I feel like he's building enough of a rapport with both sides that if he does get to the end, and a lot of these people, well, obviously a lot of these people are still going to be there, he's going to have an equal amount of people on both sides of the jury that would actually vote for him to win. You can't have that in the finals. Rachel's not stupid. Rachel's won the show before. She already knows that cannot be. I can't have him in here. Because if he's here, I'm not going to win. So that's basically what she's stating. And she was like, everybody, excuse me, he's in everybody's ear. And if he goes home, that's going to shift a lot of shit. And it's going to cause a lot of chaos. And it's a big move for, in my opinion, it's a big move. And I feel like I'm a little bit evil thinking about it, but I love it. Of course, I love Rachel. That's why I love Rachel. She's very self-aware when it comes to how she is portrayed on the show. Now, season 12, Rachel, she thought she was like, but she was still entertaining. Rachel's always been entertaining to me. But Ashley was like, Rachel's playing chess. Ashley is too, and I can't wait to. I hope they give her the edit that she deserves from them feeds, boy. Because when I tell you she was clocking some shit, clocking it. But Will and Ashley are eating up Rachel, and Rachel's like, I mean, there's a queen here, and Mickey's the queen, so you need to make that decision. And Mickey was literally paying attention to what she was saying. She's like, removing him would allow her to get, talking about removing Vince, that would allow her to get closer to Zach and Morgan, considering the fact that Zach, Vinny, and Morgan, they're a trio. Getting him out of the picture is going to bring her in, which is going to get her even closer. But she says, like, it would change my relationship with Morgan by sending him home, too, because as we all know, Morgan is close with him, too. But you're not playing Morgan's game. Think about your own game. But she's like, it's a big move that I need to consider. Vinny goes up to Mickey's HOH room, and he's asking her where she's leaning. Like, where's your head at? She says it's hard because my goal in here is to ensure that my target is minimal. And she's talking about the target on me. And she was like, putting up Katherine after everything that happened with Riley's HOH, putting him on the block, all of that shit, it doesn't make it look too good for me. And she was like, it's scary because I've considered everybody, including you. And I'm not going to lie to you. I would be lying if I said that I didn't consider you. So obviously he starts panicking in his damn DR. But he then says, like, should I worry? And she's like, I mean, it's a lot of what ifs at this point. So he then tells us he's 99% sure that he's going up. He's good at reading the room. He can tell she's not making eye contact with him. He is good at reading the room in terms of that, because she definitely was really heavily considering putting him up. But he then tries to throw a Hail Mary, trying to tell her everything that she wants to hear. But Zach, Morgan, and Mickey, they're upstairs with Vinny now. This is where what I said earlier, where he was going to bite Jimmy in the ass because he was talking to three people that have loose lips. And like I said, the one time they feel like they in danger, they're going to blow his shit up. Here we go. He then says, Vinny says, these two, talking about Zach and Morgan, are the closest allies to me in this game. I don't really know where I stand with Mickey. So I'm willing to say anything to get the heat off of me. So he then says Jimmy doesn't want to be HOH anytime soon, which I can believe that. Jimmy's in a place now where, well, at least before this, he wasn't really on anybody's radar for real. Like, yeah, he still has that target. People still thinking about him, but like he kind of like got down. He kind of like killed his threat level a little bit. But they agree, like, if he won, he would put up Keanu. Vinny says, yeah, but he's cool with him. And I said, I knew this shit was about to blow up. And Morgan said, that's some tea right there. It is. So Vinny then tells them after the vote, Jimmy had apologized about voting with the House to vote out, who went home last week? Adrian. And then he says that he pulled Keanu and Kelley into the room, basically telling us, like, we need to vote together the next time. I said, loose lips, sinking ships. But he then says, like, it wasn't really a formal alliance, but he was just making sure that we were aligned going forward. Morgan said, that shit pisses me off. Like, creating an alliance to go against your own allies when you got people here that's riding for you, that shit pisses me off. Granted, even though I see it as sloppy gameplay, I see why Jimmy's doing that, because he's trying to set himself up to be good on both sides of the house. But you can't play that sloppily. Like, you can't do it. But she then says it makes no sense. It does make sense as to why he's doing it. Just the way he's moving is stupid. But Mickey then says, like, I wonder why he would plant that seed, because How is he going to be in an alliance with? How is he going to be in an alliance with people that is going against us? But Morgan and Mickey, they're having their own little conversation now, and Keanu comes to go talk to them, so they move up to the HOH. So Keanu wants to pretty much see if their interests can align at this point. Keanu knows, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I really don't have much to lose at this point. I need to start trying to build connections. So he's finally starting to play a smart game. So he then says, like, I don't really have a reason to target y'all right now at this point. You do, but do what you got to do. And he was like, I just want to make sure that the person that's planting the seeds is gone, which is smart. This is smart because it's easy to go after somebody that just put you up. Because it's like, okay, you put me up. But if you really want to get far in the game, sometimes you got to, like I said, if there's somebody in the game that I don't like, even if I know I don't like them, if I know that keeping them in my back pocket is gonna further me in the game, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have to suck it up and deal with that person because why? Like you gotta win the money. You gotta think about the money. So obviously he's doing that right now. But Mickey then says, like, I mean, I don't mind telling you this at this point because I don't even care. And she ends up asking Morgan, do you care? And Morgan was like, basically no, but let's play a game. So they start talking about the memory wall, and she's basically like, right here, what you thinking? And of course he immediately guesses Jimmy. So he says, like, he playing both sides. And they all agree that he is. And Keanu brings up the storage room conversation. And Morgan's like, yeah, we heard. So Keanu then says Jimmy was the one that is out here spearheading us coming together to basically come for y'all. He's not lying because that's exactly what happened. But Mickey then says, like, I mean, I never really got, and she says this in her DR, I never really got over him nominating Amy and Will and then creating this alliance with your biggest enemies. I can't ignore you making these moves against us and against me. Which I'm like, when this started happening, I was like, okay, I can see why she even put him up. Like, I can see why that. Even though, like, that's a number that you need for real, he's not coming for you right now, which it's like the way I was seeing it earlier in the week. I'm like, putting him up is stupid because it's like you need him as a number. Get him out when you get to jury at this point to where the numbers are dwindling down to where you don't really need him anymore. Like, you need him right now. Like, the numbers are too close at this point. But she then says, like, her target is whoever's playing both sides. We then move to another scene of just her and Morgan. And she was like, I mean, if Jimmy's removed, how does this benefit my game? Morgan starts panicking because Mickey's like, it's between him and Vinny. As we all know, Morgan is really close with Vinny as well, and that's a number for her. And she's like, I really trust him. So Mickey says, like, Vinny is the safer choice at this point. Morgan says, that puts me in a bad spot. So Mickey then says, like, I mean, he would put me up before he would put, well, she's stating this to us in her DR. Vinny would put me up before he would put up Morgan, which is true. All the reason that's why you should target him. But Morgan then says, like, if he goes up and goes home, that's my number one guy. Face value, I'd have been like, yeah, I get what you're saying. In my head, I'd have been like, clip, because then I can be your number one, like, for real. Like, I can be your only number one, because Morgan's playing the game to set herself up on both sides, but I'm not here to help you set yourself up on both sides. I need you to be my only, I need to be your only number one. I need you to be one of my multiple number ones. But Mickey then says the more she pushes back, talking about Morgan, it makes her feel like those two are a pair. And that's all the reason to get him out. Exactly. You're right. But Mickey then says, like, I know for a fact that Jimmy is coming after us at this point. But we get to the veto meeting. Mickey wants to soften the blow before telling Jimmy, or basically blindsiding Jimmy. So she ends up calling Morgan, or telling Morgan to go get him while they're getting ready really, really quickly because the veto meeting is about to happen. And she goes up there and tells him, like, your name been floating around. Like, and people gave me a lot of valid reasons to put you up, and I would be a fool to state it's not concerning to me, and it's something that I'm considering. He shook. And he was like, this makes no sense. Mickey then says, like, it doesn't seem like our team, us, the trio, our trio alliance, it doesn't seem like it's at the forefront for you. And he's like, everything I've done in this game is to keep our alliance together, and I trust y'all, but this to me is telling me that they don't really trust me. Why should they trust you? But he's speechless because she's doing it right before the veto. Like, not really giving him a chance to really plead and, like, try and fight for himself to be here because the veto meeting is in, like, any minute. But he then states, like, if I'm on the block, I believe I'm probably going to go home. We get to the veto meeting. Keanu takes himself off the block. Mickey replaces him with Jimmy because of his recent game. She says this, because of your recent game that I do not respect, even though I think you're an exceptional person. I said, Mickey, those words, I don't know. But everybody's shook. Rachel's getting emotional. Mickey gets emotional. But Mickey says in her confessional, Mickey got away with her words in them confessionals, though. In the confessionals, the DRs. She says if she took a shot at Vinny, it would hurt her relationship with Morgan if she wants to go far with Morgan. Jimmy needs to be taught a lesson because he out here playing all these different sides, thinking that he on the right side and the good side. So I'm going to make sure that he's outside talking to Julie. I said, you ate that one. She ate it. But tomorrow, I'm excited to see that eviction episode. As y'all see, like this was one of my favorite episodes of the season because it actually had a lot going on from start to finish. That's why it's 40 minutes long. But if you got this far, thumbs up the video, drop the comments, share the video, subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 15K. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.